All right. Hey, last one, 3.9. Using studies wisely. It's pretty much a little more vocabulary type stuff. We're going to talk about when we can make inferences about a population. Usually depends on sampling and things like that. And then also talk about ethics in designing and doing some sort of statistical study. Okay. Anyhow, so whether or not you're able to make an inference, right? The whole point of this is to get some data from a large population and then be able to say something about that population from some sample data, right? But if you have not done some sort of process of random selection, either for an observational study or for an experiment, then you're not able to make any sort of conclusion about the population because of the possibility of bias having been entered into the the design of the experiment or observational study. This is the weirdest chart ever. Okay, anyways, it's not weirdest chart ever. It's just like it just says, hey, you want to make sure that you did random selection or random assignment, and then it's like, hey, you need to be in the green, right? I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense. So we also have to consider that there are some cases where it is not ethical to do an experiment. For instance, it doesn't say that, but if you cause harm, right? And I think that's kind of covered with informed consent, because you wouldn't consent to someone. Well, most people wouldn't consent to having someone harm them. And in this case, in an experiment, you know, if someone was like, hey, you know, eat this toxic goo. I'll pay you $50 to be part of this study where you eat toxic goo. You would be like, no, thanks. I don't want to die. Anyhow, I think that, you know, doing things like that where you might harm people is covered under making sure that everyone involved in a study gives informed consent. Hey, if all of these bullets are not fulfilled, or if the people conducting the experiment or observational study have not done all of the things in these bullets, then it would not be okay to make some inference from this data. All right, I'm just going to do a quick example. Your assignment is just going to be one question, just like this. It's going to be quite simple, and then just kind of get ready for the quiz coming up tomorrow, and then reviewing. All right, so do abandoned children placed in foster homes do better than similar children placed in an institution? The Bucharest Early Intervention Project found that the answer is a clear yes. I wonder. The subjects were 136 young children abandoned at birth and living in orphanages in Bucharest, Romania. Half the children chosen at random were placed in foster homes. The other half remained in the orphanages. This is a weird word. Orphanages? Okay. Foster care was not easily available in Romania at the time, so it was paid for by the study. All right. So what conclusion can we draw from this study? Well, let's see. Were they randomly selected, right? Ew. Sorry, the wind is blowing. Terrible. Anyways, it gets really loud. The wind gets super loud in this room because it's right on the corner of the building. It's my corner office, really. Okay. We need to see, was there some sort of a random selection? A random assignment? So, yes, there was. They were chosen at random. Okay. And the other half remained in the orphanages. So there was some random selection. So now what I'd like to do is look at what conclusion can we draw from this study? And they're saying that abandoned children put placed in foster homes do better in general. All abandoned children, right? Problem is that they've really only sampled abandoned children in Bucharest, Romania. So they're not allowed to make any sort of conclusion about all abandoned children. What they could do is they can conclude that abandoned children in Bucharest, Romania benefited. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew I was spelling this dang word wrong. Stupid word. Benefited? What was it? We said they did better in foster homes. Wow. Tried to make an H and an M at the same time. That was awesome. All right. All right. The children in this study were too young to provide informed consent. Does this make this study unethical? And it does. I don't know who gets to provide informed consent for these young people. But they definitely did not consent. They didn't say, hey, do you want to be placed in a foster home? No, it was just done. So it does. I'm trying to explain myself here. And I just did, but words, let's see. And I worded this so much better for the last class. Dang it. All right. And there we go. We did these things super easy today, like I said.